welcome back to Yoga with Paige. Today's practice is a vin-to-yin. So we're mixing kind of the effort with the ease here, balancing it out with this hybrid class. We begin with firing up the body, building up some heat through sun salutations, and then we release into some deep hip opening postures. We don't need any props for this class, so you can grab your mat, and whenever you're ready, we can get started. We're going to start in any comfortable seat of your choice, just kind of waking up the upper body, getting the shoulders a little bit more mobile before we start moving around. So grounding down, lifting up through the crown of the head, reach the arms out, shoulder height. Crossing the right in front of the chest, reaching under with the left to get a nice deltoid stretch. One breath here. Then exhale, release to switch sides. Releasing, taking the fingertips to the mat. Reach that left arm overhead and press away. So really opening up through the side body, feeling the skin stretch along the rib cage here. And then exhale, sweep that hand across the face to switch sides. Sending the fingertips over to the side of the room. Not lifting our hips off the mat or on our heels. Beautiful. Release. Inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace the fingers, pressing palms toward the ceiling. And exhale, take the hands in front of the chest, rounding through the back. Hold here. Pressing the hands away from you. Really opening up the upper back between the scapula. One more deep breath. And then exhale, release. If we're not sitting on the knees, I would recommend getting on the knees for this one. Taking the hands in front of the knees. Palms face up. So we're on the backs of the hands and just gently rocking, warming up the wrists. Maybe taking little circles here, just finding whatever wakes them up a little bit. We don't have to go too far. We don't want to hurt ourselves, just want to warm up a little bit. Maybe we take fingertips to the wide edge of the mat, kind of rock back on the hands. Beautiful. Finishing out here. Taking the hands back in front of the knees, tucking the toes, and making our way into downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet. Taking our time to get here, especially if this is our first movement of the day. We want to bend each knee, really grip through the fingers, pressing away from the mat. Sending the hips up to the sky, trying to reach the heels down. Gazing at the hands, bending the knees, and gently making the way to the top of the mat with a forward fold. Again, keeping the knees bent. This is our first movement of the day. Taking one breath here to just kind of wake up the backs of the legs. And then slowly roll up to standing. Mountain pose. Palms face forward. We're nice and strong here. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands kiss and come to heart center. Flowing into our sun salutations now. Inhale, reach. Exhale, flat back, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank pose. Lowering down nice and slow, keeping the elbows tucked in by the ribs. And inhale, upward facing dog. We meet in downward facing dog. Exhale, expel the air all out. Make the way to the top of the mat, however you'd like to get there, and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reach through the crown. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands come above the head. Maybe we take a slight back bend here. And exhale to heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, flat back dive. Halfway lift. And this time, forward fold. Pick up this left foot, reach it back, and lower into low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms high above the head. Exhale, sink into the hips. One breath here. Rain the fingertips down, framing this right foot. Step back into plank. Take a vinyasa. Moving with your breath, we meet in downward facing dog, where we hop, jump, step, or float up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive down. Halfway lift. And exhale, fold. This time stepping the right leg back. Reaching up, big inhale, high lunge. Exhale, sink into the hips, opening through the hip flexor. Raining the hands down, stepping back into plank pose and vinyasa. Beautiful. One more time. We're going to build up some heat. Make your way to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, heart center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive down. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Step the left foot back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, sink. Rain the fingertips down. Plank pose. Chaturanga, nice and strong. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Come to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to the top. Exhale, heart center. One more time. Inhale, reach, nice and big. Exhale, flat back, fold. Halfway lift. Extend through the crown. Exhale, fold. Stepping the right foot back. Low lunge, big reach, inhale. Exhale, sink. Rain the fingertips down. High plank. Taking your vinyasa. Inhale. And we meet in downward facing dog. Beautiful. Maybe built up a little bit of fire with that, huh? We can release the knees to the mat. Finding our tabletop pose, spreading through the fingers, grounding through the tops of the feet. Inhale, cow pose. Opening through the front of the throat. Exhale, round through the back. Moving with the breath, taking about 5 rounds here. Mobilizing even more through the spine. Giving yourself a chance to reconnect with your natural breathing rhythm. Slow it down a little bit. And just find what feels good. Beautiful. We meet back in tabletop to send the hips back, child's pose. Keeping the knees underneath the abdomen, reaching the fingertips out. We're going to steeple the fingertips and then lower the forehead to the mat. So reaching the fingertips out as far as we can, really opening up through the shoulders and the upper back, the triceps, trying to relax as much as we can as we're reaching, really tapping into each part of our body. Even though we're nice and strong in the arms, we don't have to hold tension in the hips here. One more breath. And gently plant the palms, widen the knees as wide as the mat, keeping big toes together, and release the heart down, melt into the mat. Pressing the hips down, opening up through the inner groins. We stay here for a little bit, so make sure to find what feels comfortable to you, what your body needs, and just surrender. Maybe noticing a difference in your ability to surrender after we moved around a little bit, built up some heat, moved around energy. Maybe it's easier, or maybe it's a little more difficult to find stillness now. Deep breaths. Fill the belly with air. We're here for 2 more rounds. Release tension in the shoulders. On your next inhale, gently lift the head and the chest. Slowly come back up to life. Crossing the feet underneath the sit bones, coming to find bound angle. I suggest facing the long edge of the mat. But if we have space, we can face the front as well. So sending the soles of the feet together, finding our big toe peace fingers, lifting up the chest. Rolling the shoulders back, sending the knees down, opening through the groins. Feeling nice and tall and supported here. Just focusing inwards on the breath. Noticing what comes up in the mind, allowing it to be. On this next exhale, press the knees down a little bit more, maybe opening, pulling the chest forward. Deepen. And then release, coming back to neutral spine, extending this right leg out long. This left foot comes to meet the inner thigh. Flexing this right foot up, we reach the fingertips down as the left hand comes overhead. Spiraling the chest open, nice side body stretch. Maybe we reach for the foot. Maybe we don't reach at all. Wherever we are is where we're supposed to be. Beautiful. Exhale, release, come to sit back up, crossing this right leg over the left. Coming to cow face pose, blah, blah, blah. Trying to stack the knees on top of each other, but finding what feels good. So if it feels better to sit like this, then that's your cow face pose. We want both hips on the mat and the feet turned out. Once we find our positioning here, maybe rock a little, see how that feels. Reach the arms out, cross the left underneath the right, raveling them around, trying to reach palms. And then inhale, send the hands up, finding space in the upper back. Breathing nice and deep. Releasing tension in the hips, allowing them to open even more. A few breaths here. Find some stillness. Maybe folding a little bit forward to deepen this outer glute stretch. On your next exhale, gently unravel the arms, taking this top knee so our sole of the foot is on the mat. Finding this little twist. If this is too much for you, we can always extend the leg and do this twist as well. But if this works for you, we take the right arm, wrap it around the knee, and the left comes behind. Still sitting up nice and tall. This is a little bit more of an intense twist. So if this doesn't feel good to you, never judge yourself, but especially do not judge yourself. This one's a little iffy for me right now, so making sure to just breathe. Only one more breath here before we release and send this right leg back for Pigeon Pose, coming onto the hips, sending the pelvis down into the mat. Making sure we find what feels good here, playing with the angle of the foot, maybe lifting the hands off of the mat, really sinking into that left glute. Using your lower back strength, making sure to tighten the core, suck the navel into the spine, active in the glutes. And we can release the fingertips, maybe come down onto the forearms and just let go. Just hang out here, find what feels good. Maybe the forehead's on the mat. We take a little snooze. Just letting go of things we have to do later, things we already did. Just enjoying this practice, this release of energy. One more big breath. And then gently lift up the chest, come back onto the sit bones to find our round angle. Maybe noticing a difference in how this feels now that we've kind of worked out one side more than the other. Reaching the chest up. Maybe finding a little rock here, little butterfly legs. You don't always have to be static in yin. You don't have to conform to all of the rules. 2 more deep breaths here. And then extending the left leg long, finding our side body stretch. Reaching that right arm up high. Maybe taking our gaze to the ceiling. Still breathing, opening up, creating space in our bodies and in our minds. Beautiful. Release. Coming to sit up and cross that left leg over, finding our cow face pose. Taking our time to situate. Then release the arms, and this time switch sides. Left comes on top. And we inhale, reach the arms up, sinking into the hips, maybe going forwards a little bit, bringing the chest a little bit closer. If that deepens the sensation for you, we can try all these things, explore new ways of movement. What feels good to me might not feel good to you, and vice versa. Always making whatever practice your own. Creating space in the upper back. One more deep breath. Exhale, unravel the arms, taking our little twist, whatever that looks like for you. Being mindful of our own bodies, our own capabilities. Bringing our awareness to the lower spine. Visualizing the twisting that's happening there, the detoxification. One more breath. And then release, sending that left leg back, pigeon pose. Pigeon. And if we took the no hands option on the other side, I would recommend doing the same, kind of balancing it out once we find our position. Remembering to activate through the core to help prevent lower back pain. It's all connected. Abdominals, and the lower back. When we strengthen one, we're typically strengthening the other as well. That's why we say we want to suck it in. Using both of those muscles. We can release the hands to the mat. Finding our sleeping pigeon that resonates with you in this very moment. Breathing deeply. Letting go of past worries, anxieties, future responsibilities, events. Physically releasing muscle tension, mentally relieving stress, knowing that it's all going to work out how it's supposed to. We can control the things we can control, and the rest we accept. One more breath. Then slowly lifting up, pressing the chest back up, sweeping that left leg around, and coming to lie on the back. We're going to send the legs up into the air, finding legs up the wall, so you can use the wall for your legs, or you can just hang out like I'm doing up here. We can have the knees bent, or we can keep them straight. We're just focusing here on getting the blood to rush from the feet, the lower extremities, up into the heart and to the head. Ending with this recirculating pose for our practice today. Maybe you can feel the blood rush down. Maybe your feet, your toes get a little chilly. Maybe you feel your heart beating a little faster. Or it rushed to the brain. Noticing these sensations as we flow through our yoga practice, really being in the moment, being mindful of all of these changes going on. Just being with the breath, feeling the support of the mat on the back. Beautiful. And on your next exhale, you can gently bend the legs, bringing the knees into the chest for a final little hug. Hug the knees in, give yourself some love, send them some love. And this is where we end class today, so we can find a final resting spot, maybe reclined bound angle or corpse pose, where we take a few moments to just be, relax every muscle, taking a few more breaths. Honoring this time for yourself, not skipping the last few seconds to rush off to something else. It'll still be there. Maybe scanning the body, seeing if we can find any areas of hidden tension in the forehead, in the shoulders, in the hips, in the feet, and consciously, lovingly release it. And whenever you're ready, we can gently begin to wake up the body, making some subtle movements, and find one side to roll onto, and gently press up to a sitting position. Taking one final breath together, finding hands at heart center. Inhale deeply through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this little vin-to-yin kind of hybrid class. I would love to know how you liked it down below, this new little style. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already to never miss more free daily yoga classes. Thank you for joining me. I can't wait to see you again on the mat very soon.